Atul Dodiya is one of India's most famous and finest contemporary artists today. He is known for drawing from the cultural spectrum in his works, blending Bollywood with German modernism, or political figures with conceptual artists. Over the course of his 35-year art career, he has shown his works in France, Spain, the United States, Japan, Germany, and of course, all over India. I met Dodiya at his latest show at Vadhera Art Gallery in New Delhi. Hi, and thanks for watching Mojarto Conversations. I'm Anu Subramanian. Today we're here at Vadhera Art Gallery in New Delhi, and I'm sitting here with Atul Dodiya, an artist from Bombay who has a new show on display here at the gallery. Atul, it's so great to have you here with us today.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
So tell me a little bit about this show.
Well, the show is it's called Girlfriends, French, German, Italian, Egyptian, Shantiniketan and Ghatkopar. Ghatkopar is the suburb where I live in Bombay. All the works are based on quite well-known works by the various masters from European art. Piero della Francesca was an early Renaissance painter who did a great cycle of frescoes in Arezzo. And so the female figures are from his, that particular fresco series. I have works on paper which is about figures from drawings from great German master Albert Dürer, and then there are Fayum portraits which are Egyptian. They were the first original portraits, done 2000 years back, and so the figures are, my faces are based on those particular portraits. And then upstairs we have a French and Shantiniketan as well. I was quite excited when I thought that if these are my girlfriends, done by great masters whom I have been admiring. So that's how it started.
So when I was walking around this exhibition, one of the things I thought of was that John Berger quote that men look at women and women look at men looking at women. What do you think is the gaze or the perspective in these works?
I call the show Girlfriends, but there is a certain detachment, because I am looking at it as a work of art. The female figures based as a great work of art, based on or based as a established work of art, So I feel that there is no sensual approach, One could have it, if you see Sousa paintings of a female figure, then there is a kind of almost like an attack kind of a thing, the way he would paint it. And but here there is some sort of distance, and it's more about creating abstraction rather than going very close and creating a kind of intimate dialogue. Particularly an artist that again try to reinterpret these things, then there are various issues comes up, that first of all that you are attempting something already is known as a masterpiece. So should one do that, or you are going to do a big mess and make fool of yourself, while touching Dürer and Piero della Francesca. So these are the challenges, which are there. But then my approach is more like a student. You see, I used to copy film stars as a young boy, and I would even paint, take the images from Van Gogh or Picasso, and then just try to copy, achieve the likeness, and would feel very happy. So that's there. That once you grow up and you have studied and you have traveled and been exhibiting, and then that kind of attitude you have to abandon. I don't think so. I still retain my my fascination and my love, and kind of I get quite emotional, and sentimental sometimes when I'm looking at a great painting. So that's the way, I approach. And then if that kind of approach one has, then one is allowed, because I'm not trying to prove or trying to kind of make a kind of a strong comment. I'm just trying to learn.
You sort of inoculate yourself by saying, I'm a student,
Yes, yeah. Well, I must tell you something, it's also that one of my biggest regret, like, I was born and brought up in Bombay. I studied at the JC School of Art. It was a very much, we studied European paintings, but we never saw original European paintings. So
there's a difference when you're looking at it in your book,
exactly.
right?
When you see the original painting or the masters, like you're learning from Leonardo and Rembrandt and Cezanne and Picasso and Matisse, and all these great artists, and you learn from them, but you haven't seen. So a student in Paris, London or New York or Berlin, they if they want to see Piero della Francesca, they just simply go to the museum.
Their relationship with art is totally different to see the original
so
versus
what
the reproduction.
Happens, the students here, we just hear about that, or we see reproductions in the book, or now of course with the internet you go and Google and find search those images, but it's not the same as seeing the actual work in the way it is placed, the scale and size and the texture, everything matters. So I studied majority of these things by looking at the books.
But what does that mean? Does that mean that you were seeing works kind of taken away from their aura or their context, or it just means that you were seeing them without their material and texture?
No. So what has happened due to that they kind of, they are so much part of my being, I would say, imagining about art and all the time thinking about painting. And then I think it's when I'm doing my own work, they like not like a ghost, but kind of some sort of they are there around me in my head, and I just allow them to enter in my work. Due to that, a lot of people they feel that there is a lesson in art history. Atul's work is a lesson in art history, or like you have to know many other things, but which I don't think it's important. I mean, you see the way you see. Even the whole text has been given next to the painting, a viewer is going to see what actually he or she wants to see. A red color, red color could be a very festive and happy for someone. For someone, it could be very dangerous. It could be, so I mean, there is no specific mode or way of looking at a work of art, and that's what I like. I prefer that my viewer should see the way they want to see it, and I don't think there are higher degree of viewership and there are lower degree. No, because I have noticed when I'm exhibiting very general people who are not the usual gallery goers or goes to museums, but when they come and they comment and the way they see, very perceptive. And sometimes those who are kind of very much into the art world and all that, they miss the point.
They miss it, of course.
They miss it. But sometimes it happens that people are afraid of facing a painting because they just feel that they don't understand, or they might make fool of themselves by saying something, whereas actually there is nothing like that. If you like it and if you say, I love if someone comes and looking at this painting and just says, okay, I don't like that, but I love the crimson,
right.
This patch, then I said, fine, that's perfect.
What you connect to is what you connect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, then that's also sufficient. I mean, I don't expect the each and every square inch has to be understood and should be dissected and all that.
That's the sort of thing that only you would understand anyway, right? Because you're bringing your own.
Yeah, exactly, as a creator.
I think that your work is very engaging that way. You do keep a lot of iconography that people can relate to or understand.
Yeah.
And maybe that might be the starting point for them to ask themselves, why are there molecules on this painting? What is that material? Oh, it's a fresco. What is a fresco? That sort of opens up room for thought and question.
Yeah.
So how do you think your work has evolved over the years when you're saying that you used to do landscapes of cities and now this is more abstract?
Well, it's evolved. It's difficult for me to say, but I think I do take quite dramatic shifts, from show to show, in terms of medium, in terms of subject matter. I get very tired very quickly with, if I keep on repeating. But after saying this, I feel, whatever I'm saying is right? I don't know. It's just a kind of sheer urge of, discovering things.
But that's your, obviously, interest and
because
passion.
as we know that Picasso said, the well-known state quotation, he said that I do not seek, I find. So that discovering thing, that element of surprise gives a different kind of a joy. That's very important, and that joy is very, very crucial to an artist.